sexy boy. And then when you put the Leslie on it, sexy boy. Suddenly I heard the song of the vocals in the Leslie, and we all look at each other like, wow. And that's changed everything. Each chorus I was pressing enter on the S1000, and each time I pressed enter, I saw my life changing, you know. My dream as a child becoming true. Every fucking chorus. Sorry, I said that. I was swearing. And I was saying, oh my God, my life will never be the same anymore. And then I had this moment in my life. And that just because we saw that pedal in the studio, you know?
Yeah. This episode is being supported by Tape It, the iPhone recording app made for musicians by musicians.
So this sound is something... It's a mini Moog, but in a Talkbox, and we used to have the Talkbox, and there was confusion at the time. Some vocoders things, people thought it was vocoders, but it was Talkbox. Like Around the World by Daft Punk, it's Talkbox. It's not a vocoder. And here I put the bass line on my mini Moog, and so I don't know. I don't know if anyone is familiar with what a Talkbox is.
Well, you could explain maybe.
Well, it's a box, and you put your it's amplified, so you amplify it with a guitar amp or something, and you put your sound in it, and then there's a tube, like something to do your water in your garden, you know, like a big tube like that. And then the sound goes in that tube and goes in your mouth, and then with the microphone, and then you modulate the sound that goes in your mouth with your mouth, with your palate, and then with the microphone you record what's out of your mouth, and then it's very physical. Like you can have vibrating shocks on your teeth, and you're not very a beautiful man when you do it. Like you can spit.
So you're not that sexy a boy.
No, you're not a sexy boy when you do that. And then, so if I isolate the track, you can see.
So you're using the Talkbox and the mini Moog there.
Yeah. I play. The sound goes in the box, goes in the tube, goes in my mouth, and I take the output of my mouth with the microphone.
Right.
So you change the sound with the shape of the inside of your mouth.
Yeah.
Voilà. So
yeah.
It's a very cool thing. And I use that thing all the time. For example, on Sexy Boy and many of Moon Safari tracks, I do this thing all the time. I put a pad, like an organ pad, and I modulate. I put in a Talkbox and I'm...
Right.
So you can think it's a wah-wah, but it's a Talkbox.
Yeah. So the original sound is whatever the original
pad,
sound is.
It's synth organ pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into your mouth and you manipulate it, and then that goes straight into the microphone.
And I have to say that a lot of sounds were going through a guitar amp because we only had one guitar amp, a PV Classic 50. And this is the only amp we had. And to bring some textures to the sound, we used to put everything in the guitar amp. Like this pad goes in, it was a cheap organ, but goes in this amp. We never record it in line. We go to the amp and get it with the microphone because we were looking ways to make the song more dirty because we didn't have a recording studio. We were recording in my bedroom, you know.
Right.
As Daft Punk, as a lot of bands of that era. And so how can you...
So was the bedroom at the time still a bedroom, or was it just
so
a bedroom?
I put the bed somewhere else.
Right. This episode is being supported by our good friends at Tape It, the iPhone app made specifically for musicians. If you, like many of our guests, use voice memos, then as far as we're concerned, switching to Tape It is an obvious choice. It's free, and there are a load of features you won't find on Apple's Voice Memos app, including the ability to record straight from your lock screen, set markers, add notes, include photos of settings, and you can easily import your old voice notes, sync to the cloud, and create shared playlists with co-writers and bandmates. So head to the link below to install the app now. And if you want even more, check out Tape It Pro and use the promo code TAPENOTES to receive a whopping 20% off. And now, back to the episode. The bit that you had just explained with the Talkbox and the Mini Moog, was that the first thing that came with Sexy Boy? Because that's such a defining riff.
No, that's not the first thing. I was on my couch watching TV and I heard something. And that's what I mean. It's okay to do nothing, you know. I was just watching TV and I heard a melody. And I get at the couch and I played it on the Solina. The Solina String Ensemble is an amazing keyboard.
Is it still on the track? Are you able to play it?
I show you this is the original voice. Sexy boy. And then when you put the Leslie on it, it does that. Sexy boy. So the same thing as a Talkbox. Everybody thinks it's a vocoder, but it's a voice going through a Leslie.
Right.
And so we had this track in the studio, and we after we signed a record deal, the record company offered us 2 weeks in a real studio to make all the re-recordings, like vocals with Beth Hirsch, and like record it in a professional way with big expensive microphones, and then there was this organ, like there's here like a Hammond organ with a cabin Leslie, and there was this pedal called the combo pedal, and I asked the assistant, "What's this pedal?" And he said, "Well, it's a pedal you can plug everything in the Leslie, because the Leslie is the plug it's to plug into a Hammond organ, but if you want to put something else in the Leslie, it's a speaker that turns very fast, you know, so you use that pedal." I said, "Really?" So I took the vocals of the chorus, Sexy Boy, and I sampled it in my Akai S1000, and then I had and then we put a cable out of the in France we say a jack. Do you say a jack?
Yeah.
We put a jack out of the sampler and we put in the combo pedal, then in the Leslie. Suddenly I heard the song of the vocals in the Leslie, and we all look at each other, like JB, me, and Alf, the sound engineer, and wow, and that's changed everything. And so we bring back the track from the beginning and say, okay, record. And then each chorus I was pressing enter on the S1000. And each time I pressed enter, I saw my life changing, you know. I said, this is going to be a big song. And each chorus, each time I was pushing on with the finger, I could see success. I could see millions of albums selling. I could see my dream as a child becoming true. Every fucking chorus. Sorry, I said that. I was swearing. And then it was finished, and it was 11 or midnight. And I walked out the door of the studio, and I went to pick up my girlfriend. She was a waitress in a restaurant. And I crossed the river, the Seine, and it was raining, and I was watching Paris. And I was saying, oh my God, my life will never be the same anymore. And then I had this moment in my life, and that just because we saw that pedal in the studio, you know.
Yeah.
And it was in July, and then the album was released in January, 6 months later.
Mm.
But all that time I was taking the metro, and I was sitting on the metro, and I was watching people in the metro. I said, will they listen to the album? Is this guy will like the album? If this girl, I was trying to guess, you know, because I knew we had something.
Yeah.
And that was it. And we had something.
Yeah.
This album was released. Honestly, it's like, I could feel it, you know. One day all the curves are crossing, and you are at this magic point, you know, where everything you touch is working, you know.
Yeah.
And also, you are only a newcomer once in your life, and I know whatever success you will have later, it will never be as good as the first time.